We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is David Kendrick. I am owner of Lion Speaking Agency. And today we have two special guests, Miss Kayla Mitchell and Victoria Gage. And the conversation for today is going to be postpartum depression and its mental health impact on new mothers. And if you are new to the page here, what we do here at Lion Speaking Agency is we discuss multiple mental health issues in the community, and no matter if it impacts males, females, children, we'd like to open a discussion for everyone to listen to, take part in, and just know that whatever they're going through, they're not going through it on their own. So we have two special guests who today would like to speak about their interactions with their dealings with postpartum depression. Miss Kayla Mitchell and Victoria Gage, and Victoria is spending today with us, and it is her birthday. So happy birthday, Victoria!
Happy birthday.
Hope both of you are doing well this Friday evening before the 4th of July. And I'd like to give you guys, or ladies, I should say, a chance to introduce yourselves to everyone who will be either watching live or watching the replay. So, Kayla, go ahead and introduce yourself and what do you do and tell us about your wonderful daughter.
Okay, well, of course, my name is Kayla Mitchell, and I am the COO of Coffee Enterprise and Communications. So I am a work from home mom. I have a beautiful 11-month-old daughter that's about to be one in about 15, 14 days here. And that's pretty much all I can say about myself right now. Just really still entering into motherhood. So I'm still catching on the swing of things.
All right, and Victoria, could you please introduce yourself to everyone?
I'm Victoria Gage. I work for the Portland District Army Corps of Engineers. I am an administrative tech. I have three adult children. They're old. They're 30, 27, and 21. So I've been in the motherhood game for a little while. I actually have grandkids. So, and Kayla, your little one shares a birthday the day before my son.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday to yours.
Thank you. And same to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we will go ahead and get into the conversation here about postpartum depression. And Kayla, well, the question is going to be for both of you, but I'll start with you, Kayla. When did you realize that you had postpartum depression? What did you experience?
When I realized that I had postpartum depression, I wanted to say maybe it was a few weeks after giving birth to my daughter. Something that I experienced was just a lot of anxiety, feeling as though, am I really doing everything right? I would be a little snappy here and there, not necessarily with the baby, but just either with myself or my spouse. Just very, like I stated, anxious, nervous. A lot of different emotions. I will have my crying spells here and there, but that's normally when I pretty much determined that I had postpartum depression.
Okay, and Victoria?
Well, back when I had my kids, we didn't really know what it was. Um, I mean, the doctors just were like, you'll get through it. Just go home and take care of your baby, and everything will be fine. But I felt, like Kayla said, anxious. Um, I was young too, 18, new mom at 18, married, and all this stuff, And I just felt kind of like not connected, I guess. Not maybe not necessarily not connected to the baby, but just connected to the outside world. And I just wanted to sleep all the time. I was cranky, irritable, trying to think, it was pretty miserable for the first 4 months of her life, and it wasn't necessarily me not wanting to take care of her. It was just trying. I wanted to by myself, I guess, because I was afraid I would, hurt somebody else's feelings, or I didn't know what it was back then. So it was pretty rough.
Wow. Okay. Now, another question for both of you. Did you know exactly what it was that you were going through? Did you ever hear about postpartum depression? Did you know what it was? Did you just think that, okay, well, maybe I'm having a couple of bad days here and there after giving birth?
Well, for me, I can say that I didn't know what postpartum depression was. Due to my mom, she did tell me once I had my child that it might be some baby blues. She didn't necessarily call it postpartum, but she called it baby blues a few days or a few weeks afterwards. And she would just let me know, like, reach out to your doctor if you felt comfortable, or of course, reach out to her or someone around me to be able to speak with them in regards to my feelings about all that I was going through, especially being a new mom and young as well too.
Okay. And Victoria,
Yeah,
did you know?
luckily I had my husband's mother who also called it the baby blues. She said, "Oh, I think you're just having a little bit of the baby blues." And luckily I lived with her at the time, so she was able to take my oldest and help me in that way. But I really truly didn't know. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was really not myself. Um, I thought having a baby for me was going to be super exciting and I was going to be happy all the time. It just wasn't quite like that for the first 3 months. So luckily, I had that support of her mom, her nana, while I was going through the baby blues. I didn't have
Okay. Okay. Now, Kayla, now what impact did it have on your relationship with your child? And like you said, you have a spouse. What impact did it have on your relationship with your spouse?
Well, for me with my child, just mainly as I stated, it was just the anxiousness, making sure and feeling as though I'm doing the right things by my child, especially, when you're a new mother, you really don't know what it is that you're doing. So having that support system is very, very important. As far as in with my spouse, because we weren't both that educated on postpartum depression, sometimes we would clash heads because maybe he wasn't understanding what I was going through, or vice versa, because I do feel that it does affect men in some way. It's just that sometimes men don't get to express it how we would normally express it. We're more vocal about our emotions, and men are more suppressant with their emotions. I would say that it did create like communication issues at a point in time. And so we both, had to just find someone to confide in, to be able to talk to about what it is that we're both going through. I also just had to also try to keep in mind too that it's not just me going through it, because he's a new parent too. So he's definitely feeling some things that maybe I might not understand. Of course, it's going to create lack of sleep. So I might be a little irritable because I'm either probably getting up a little more, and he may not hear the baby cry sometimes at night. So it was things like that that kind of played into our situation that kind of made it difficult in the beginning.
Okay. And Victoria?
that. I can't say that it really had. I personally probably made it an effect on my husband as he wasn't around. He worked a lot. He worked construction, so he was gone a lot during the day. So it really was just me and the baby, unless my man came down to take her for a little while. So he didn't really see a lot of the whole what was into taking. It was his first also, so he didn't really understand the whole aspect of how much it takes to take care of him. Um, so I think my irritability is more what got him more than say taking care of him. And being that he was a paraplegic, he didn't get up with her at night. So it was, I was really the one that was doing all of the care. Um, but as far as the relationship with the baby and I, when she cried, I probably cried a lot too.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I just didn't know what to do. And I'd just sit there and I'd check her and make sure everything was okay with her. And then I'd just sit there and cry. Like I had no idea what else to do. And that's kind of how we rolled for a little while. Make sure you're okay, and then we cried together. But,
I can
I don't
agree
think
with
that I never really, I didn't not take care of her. I never felt that part of the postpartum depression where There's no connection with the baby and the mom, or not very good of a connection. Didn't ever feel that. I just felt sad, like I didn't know what to do. She was crying all the time, but I knew her needs were met. So it was hard, and frustrating. So I'm sure I took that out on him when he came home. Like, here, take this child. I don't know what to do anymore. But that's all I can really. Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay.
She was a good kid.
Now, Victoria, unlike Kayla, you stated you are a grandmother. So you may know some of the warning signs of a new mother who's going through postpartum depression. So did you look out for this with your children to say, hey, maybe you're going through this, you need to seek help, or were you there to help them while they were, if they did go through that?
Yeah, so it's my oldest that has my two grandkids. And when my grandson was an infant until he was a year old, I was luckily had the afforded the opportunity for them to live with me. So I was able to watch the signs, see if anything, was kind of triggering for her. If I could see that she was tired because she's my child, I know she's tired, or that I could see it in her face, or just feel it in her presence. That if I know you're tired, give me the baby, and you go lay down for a while. I would get up with them in the middle of the night sometimes, and we'd just go downstairs and hang out and let them sleep. And so I was able to kind of help through that first few months. And I'm hoping that it helped her with the second one. She wasn't around me as much. She would up in Washington, her husband's Navy, or was Navy. And so I wasn't really as much involved, but I did call her a lot. And I went up there as often as I could, on the weekends. I'd spend long weekends up there just to make sure she was okay. And I was able to tell her, if you need someone to talk to, you can absolutely leave the babies with me and go and, talk to somebody that can help you through this, if you're having some difficulties. She seemed to be able to weather the storm a little bit, and not seem to affect her as much. But then again, I'm mom, and she probably wouldn't tell me a whole lot if I, asked her. I'm okay, I could do it, But if I had been present more for the second one, I probably would have been able to tell a little bit better. But the first one, I was there. I was able to just be present.
Okay, perfect. And I see as we go along here, we are gaining some new viewers. So I'd like to welcome you all to the conversation. We are with Ms. Kayla Mitchell and Victoria Gage. This is David Kendrick, owner of Lion Speaking Agency. And we're having a mental health conversation today about postpartum depression and the impact that it has on new mothers. And Ms. Kayla, the next question that I want to ask you is, when you were going through this, when did you decide, hey, there's something that I need to do to help myself? Because there's many people who deal with many different mental health challenges, and they think that they're the only ones going through it, and they're afraid to let other people know what they're going through because they don't want to be stereotyped. So when did you decide, hey, maybe I need to speak with someone about this or do some research on what's going on?
For me, I would say, let's see, maybe a couple of months after having my daughter, I reached out to my mom or my mother-in-law a lot, just to express, how I was feeling. I was a little scared to actually reach out to my doctors because I really just didn't want anybody to feel like, oh, I'm unfit as a parent, or she's breaking down or cracking. Like, these are things that, were really my concern. Then I was just like, I'd rather talk to someone that I know. So having that support system, either between my mom or my mother-in-law, that was just very helpful for them to explain to me, what it is that I might have been feeling, or just as Victoria stated, someone just coming in and being like, okay, I'll take the baby for a few hours and then I will go and take a shower, or cook something or get something to eat for myself. Because sometimes when you're going through postpartum depression, you don't want to eat. You really do want to stay in bed all day. You want to sleep all day. You're just feeling like you're at your wits' end. So just to being able to take a little bit of those times and chances to either go take a shower or a bath just to relax my mind, reading a book or something that would distract me, getting back into things that I love, like as far as in music or writing or something like that, that just made me and my spirits uplifted so then I can be more productive for my child and also for my spouse and my household.
Okay, Victoria, same question.
Uh, Kind of just goes back to ensuring that you speak up.
Hmm.
Yes. I mean, I would let like I said, I was with my mother-in-law. I lived with her. My family was important, where I lived, but they weren't as close. So I was able to rely on Nana a lot. Hey, could you just, and like Kayla said, just to take a shower is amazing, you know, just or even, like a bath, a relaxing bath, or to read a little bit of a book, or to, get grounded and centered again and be like, okay, I can do this. Those things are really important for new moms to try to remember, as there are people there that can help, even if they have a trusted neighbor or um, a trusted family member that could come over and help them and say, I really need to have some help because you can hold and watch a baby for an hour, so I can take that. A lot of new moms aren't about letting their children out of their sight, so it would have, for me, I would, at that age, I was like, I want you to come into my home and be there with my child. I don't want you to take my child out of my home.
Hmm.
So I would definitely ask Nana, can you please just for an hour, or, and as they get older, it doesn't change. Gotta take a shower sometime, and it's just
Agree.
it. When you're a nursing mom, I noticed where it hit the most for me is being able to nursing mom, new baby. You don't have a big appetite, and then you feel like you're doing things wrong because the baby won't nurse or latch on or this or that, and you're just, you're starting to get frustrated. And uh, please just remember to eat. That's the biggest thing, because that will definitely keep you and your energy going and kind of keep you in your mental health a little bit better than what it would be if you weren't taking care of yourself as far as the big thing. I learned that the hard way with the oldest was, you gotta eat to keep up your strength, to keep track of these little ones. But like I said, I would mention it to my doctors, and they didn't really. I mean, I guess I had one that was kind of like, maybe you need a break,
Hmm.
but it wasn't. There was no in depth about it, or maybe you need to talk to somebody, or this is what this is called, and we see it all the time. Because, like I said, my oldest is 30, and it was just a starting to come into, starting to flourish then, was people are starting to pay attention to women when they have babies. Like, hey, a lot of women are talking about this. We need to do something about it, and that's kind of where it started. So I was kind of on that cusp of, you know, getting mental health and not getting mental health.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Now, postpartum depression, because I'm a male, I can't experience childbirth. So I may not know exactly what you're feeling as a woman when you're going through these feelings of postpartum depression. So what can you do? What would you tell us as men to help you when you're dealing with your symptoms of postpartum depression? What can we do to make it a little bit easier on you?
Mm, I would say, if you know your spouse, you know your spouse. So you know when they aren't being themselves. Doing just little gestures, maybe just cleaning up, maybe cooking a dinner or buying dinner if your spouse doesn't know how to cook. Um, and just listening, being attentive, because we really do go through a lot emotionally. And sometimes we know that it's a lot, to be and bear on you all because you're going through things as well. But we're just going through it just maybe 10 to 20 times a little more with, having the baby and just the overwhelming feelings. So just doing those nice, simple gestures, just listening. And even if, you're having an issue with trying to be able to figure out what it is to do for her, reach out to someone that has had a child for them to either be able to give you some advice on what to do or how to navigate through that situation as well.
Okay. And
Yeah,
Victoria?
she hit it right on the head. Um, I noticed now that some ladies have great friends that do these meal things for them. And that is the biggest help ever, is to have meals planned or meals to pull out of the freezer, or um, just that help of someone organizing that, so that way the mom and the dad can spend time with that baby together, and bonding,
Mm.
instead of it just always being the mom, or the mom needs a break so the dad has to do it for a little while. And I really truly feel that that bonding helps mom and dad and baby together. And taking that time, uh, you know, meal time or whatever, um, however long it takes, that takes away from that when one of them has to go and cook a meal, or one of them has to go and run a bunch of errands, or so on. I really feel like it really does take a community to help raise a child, and that goes all the way from helping take care of the child to helping take care of the mom and the dad too.
Mhm.
Um, and then, I think sorry, my throat's starting to get a little scratchy. I think for men, like Kayla said, if they know their spouse or they know their partner, they know them, and they can look at them and they can see something's wrong, even if they don't see. I know my partner now would, even if I just gave a look, any kind of look, they'd be all over it. Like, what do you need me to do? Um, she's right about the cleaning up, or um, even taking the trash out, little things to help make us know that you're aware that we are doing our due diligence and our loving care of this little thing that's been entrusted to us, and we just need that little bit of help. But I truly do think that it's the mom and the dad should have that time with the baby together bonding. And I feel like family, if the husband or the spouse or the partner could step in and say, you know what, I'm going to have my family or your family or our families together help come mow the lawn, or help come clean up the house, or, I don't know. It depends on how the dynamics are with the families and that and such, or friends and that and such, how far a woman or a man would be willing to go to let a person clean their own home or those kinds of things. But I know there's people out there that, would entrust, like if I did just have a baby, I'd be like, please, by all means, clean my house for me. Or
Right.
please just do the dishes for me. Or could you throw that laundry in the dryer? Or, it's always the little things. It's always the little things. And if the partner could maybe get those little things taken care of for a little while, it would be the greatest help ever. Like, that's the biggest thing, is those little things. I think the little things are what upset me the most. It's like, I can't even take the trash out because what if she wakes up, or he, when I have my second one? The first one's only 3.5. I can't leave her with the baby while I run the trash out, So it really does help with the little things. If they could be, if spouses or significant others to be aware and just be there, just be present.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Now I know that after 9 months of going through pregnancy, you can, after having a baby, you can do things like drink, which a lot of people who are going through any type of mental health challenge, they may resort to alcohol or, or whatever their vice is to kind of self medicate. So, with the two of you ladies, did you guys turn to alcohol during any of your the depressive symptoms that you were facing to kind of help ease the tension? And the only reason I ask that is because I know myself when I'm dealing with PTSD, I drank a lot, which I didn't realize was actually making my situation worse. So after not being able to drink for 9 months and then dealing with these new symptoms, how did you guys cope with that?
For me, I honestly did not drink. It was very rare that I did drink, and if I did, it was like wine. And honestly, I wouldn't even finish the one glass. My spouse, he gets on me about that. He's like, "Oh my God, you just gonna pour a glass and not even drinking them?" Just like I really don't have a taste for it. So for me, I just found other things to kind of take my mind off of it. As I stated, a shower, reading a book, listening to some music, or possibly some yoga or some type of meditation just to bring me back to where I needed to be. For me, alcohol just wasn't my vice, honestly.
Yeah. So, um, like I said earlier, with having trouble eating, it the doctors even said like a half a beer will get that appetite going, and you'll be able to eat, and it also helps with lactation. So I tried that, and I'm like, I don't even want this. I am not a drinker, anyways. I never really have been, but honestly, with the oldest one, I wasn't even old enough to drink. So even if it just it wasn't even a question. But I just never really. I think for me, it was more like, hey, look, like, I just get 5 minutes to take a shower, or let me go read a book for a little bit, or let me even just go lay down on the bed and close my eyes for a few minutes. So yeah, I didn't really self medicate with anything to kind of help get through those rough spots. It was more of me handing her off to her nana, and I just give me, a minute, and I'll be back. Just, just need to catch a breath.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And the last question that I have that I will bounce off both of you is what advice would you give to any new mothers out there who are going through postpartum depression? Would you have them reach out to a therapist, speak with family or friends? What would you do to let them know that they are not on their own and it is okay to seek help?
For me, I would say, as you stated, you're not on your own. It is okay to reach out to someone, whether that is family member, whether that is a therapist, a friend. You just make sure that you have someone that you feel confident enough in to be able to express your feelings without feeling as though you're being judged. Sometimes I did know that postpartum can sometimes last up to a year, the first year of after having a baby. So just making sure that you just really have that support system. Remember that you are still an individual outside of your child. So it is okay to want to go out and do something for yourself, just to make you be able to feel better, whether that is, as Victoria stated, giving the baby to a trusted friend or having someone come over, because I was the same way. I didn't really want my child to be going out of the house too much. You can definitely come over, and you go out and you do something, whether that's shopping or something just without the baby. Get out exercising will definitely give you some new type of energy and just really get your spirits boosted and lifted. And I also say that a healthy diet can also play a part in postpartum depression as well too. Just watching what you eat, because sometimes what you eat can really affect your mental and emotional state too. But just reach out to someone when you're feeling down, feeling overwhelmed, anxious, feeling at your wits end. Just reach out, whether that's, as I stated, therapist, family, friend, anyone.
Yeah, I'd say all the above, David. All the above. If reach out to a friend, and if your friend feels that maybe you should talk to someone that's a professional, or you know, um, she's so right about diet and exercise. I know that the doctors say 6 to 8 weeks is the norm for not doing any type of strenuous exercises, but that's not stopping me from getting out and taking a walk. Get out of those four walls. Get out of those four walls, put the baby in a stroller and get for a walk. Don't wear a pack. Put the baby in the stroller. That even gives you a little bit of distance. The baby will go to sleep. I'm almost guarantee you that baby will go to sleep if you don't. Reach out to your friends. If you need to, reach out to a mental health provider. Definitely, exercise and diet are the most important things. No one ever told me that when I had my first two. It was actually when I had my third one that, because I was in the military, and they were like, don't gain too much weight, but I started realizing what I put into my body is what I'm putting into my body for the baby also. And so I really took that to heart when I was watching what I was doing, and what I was doing, what I was listening to, everything. And then as soon as they come out, it still, has a very big effect on them, even though they're infants. Please don't ever feel like you're alone. You're not alone. Women have been doing this for ages, and we've all been there. Reach out to another mom. Reach out to a seasoned mom that you know. Whatever you think is going to make you feel comfortable because you're having a hard time, just do it. No one's going to judge you at all. No one.
Right.
You're asking for help.
Wow. Perfect. Great way to wrap up that conversation. And before we close for the day, I did want to give you ladies an opportunity to speak a little bit about your titles. And Kayla, you said you're a COO. So could you please tell us a little bit about what you do, how people could get in contact with you if they need more information, and what do you do for your business?
Yes, so absolutely. So, my spouse and I, we run Coffee Enterprise and Communications, which is a virtual work from home call center. We contract with different Fortune 500 companies and are able to place people into jobs. Currently, with the pandemic and everything that is going on, we know that being home is the safest way to go at this point. It's not always, a lot of people are losing their jobs and are just struggling financially. So we're very blessed to be able to place people in a position to where they're able to work from home. We do have opportunities where we send out equipment to you all. We also even have paid training. And so we're doing a lot of different things. If you're interested, you can absolutely follow me either on Facebook, or you can follow our Facebook page, which is Coffee Enterprise and Communications LLC. And I can always drop that down below or share it with David, and he can blast it off to the rest of you all as well.
Perfect. And Victoria, is there anything that you want to share? Any organizations or anything that you do that you want to share with the world here?
Yeah. What a perfect opportunity, Kayla. I am a co-founder of New Size Zeta Military Sorority Incorporated. We became incorporated October 4th, 2019. So we're just a baby. We've only been around a year. We just recently not even a year. We just recently brought on 28 new ladies and are getting ready to celebrate our first Founders Day. We have two programs that we are near and dear to all of our hearts, which is our lupus awareness program and which is called the Butterfly Effect. And we do fundraising. We did the military made sweatshirts and t-shirts. You saw those all around. Most of that proceeds went back to the Lupus Foundation. And then we also have the Inversion Project, which is a loan program for military veterans, even non-veterans, to help with something that they possibly may need monetarily. We've helped a young lady who was a veteran she wasn't able to afford the prescription, so we were able to help her do that. We raised money for a drill sergeant who lost everything in a house fire. So we were able to donate some money for her. We've done we've done a lot in our little baby infancy, and hopefully we're going to be around for many, many more years to come. So look out for us. We're new and up and coming.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for your time today, ladies. I will ask you to stay with me while after the broadcast is over here. But for those of you who are watching us live, and for those of you who may be watching us on a replay, my name is David Kendrick. This is Kayla Mitchell, Victoria Gage. You have been watching the Lions Speaking Agency's discussion on postpartum depression and its mental health impact on new mothers. And you can like us on Facebook. Our page is Lions Speaking Agency. And you can follow us for mental health conversations just like this every week. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe 4th of July, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much. You have a great day.